The Red Sea, a super important waterway connecting Asia and Europe, is facing a big problem. This narrow stretch of water is not just a geographical marvel, but a vital artery for global trade, with millions of barrels of oil and tons of goods passing through it every day. The Houthi group, which controls northern Yemen, is becoming more aggressive. Their influence has grown significantly over the past few years, and their military capabilities have been bolstered by external support. Their targets are commercial and military ships traveling through these important waters. These attacks have not only disrupted trade, but have also raised serious security concerns for all nations relying on this route. Israel, with its important interests in the area, is very worried. The safety of its maritime routes and the security of its borders are at stake, making the situation even more critical. The Houthis, supported by Iran, are a direct threat to Israeli safety and peace in the region. Iran's involvement has added a layer of complexity to the conflict, making it a proxy battleground for larger geopolitical struggles. This tense situation could cause a much bigger conflict in the Red Sea. The increased military presence and frequent naval exercises are signs of the escalating tensions. The Houthis' bold actions are worrying Jerusalem. The Israeli government is on high alert, holding numerous defense meetings to strategize and prepare for any potential threats. Their attacks on international shipping not only mess up global trade, but also threaten Israel's southern border. The economic implications are vast, affecting not just Israel but the global market. Israel depends a lot on the Red Sea for its economy. The ports and harbors are bustling with activity, and any disruption can have a ripple effect on the nation's economic stability. The recent increase in Houthi violence is seen as a direct threat to Israel's national security and its important interests in the region. The Israeli Navy is on high alert, and stringent security measures have been put in place. Iran is a big part of this growing problem. Its support for the Houthis is not just about regional influence but also about challenging its adversaries, including Israel and its allies. As a main supporter of the Houthis, Iran uses the group to spread its influence and push its goals in the region. This alliance has made the Houthis a formidable force, capable of significant disruption. Israel sees the Houthi threat as part of its ongoing fight against Iran's growing power. The conflict is not just about immediate threats but also about long-term strategic positioning. The Red Sea is becoming a new battleground in this complicated geopolitical game. The strategic importance of this waterway cannot be overstated, and control over it is highly contested. The world is at a crossroads. Global leaders are convening to discuss the escalating situation, and international naval forces are being mobilized to ensure the safety of this critical maritime route. The rising tensions in the Red Sea need a unified response. Coordinated efforts and international cooperation are essential to prevent a full-blown conflict. If we don't address the Houthi threat, there could be serious consequences. The global trade system is at risk, and the economic fallout could be severe. A larger regional conflict is a real possibility, and it destabilizes the Middle East and beyond. The stakes are high, and the world must act swiftly to ensure peace and stability in the Red Sea region. Since July 2023, the Houthis have increased their attacks in the Red Sea. These attacks have not only grown in frequency, but also in their boldness and sophistication, causing significant concern among international observers and local authorities alike. What started as occasional incidents has become a constant campaign of aggression. The Houthis have shown a clear intent to disrupt maritime activities, targeting vessels indiscriminately and causing widespread damage. Commercial ships carrying important goods have been attacked. These attacks have not only disrupted trade routes but have also led to significant economic losses for businesses relying on these shipments. Military ships patrolling the waters have also been targeted. These attacks on military vessels indicate a bold strategy by the Houthis to challenge established naval powers in the region. The Houthis, feeling confident after recent successes, don't seem to be stopping. Their growing arsenal and improved tactics suggest they are preparing for even more aggressive actions. The most worrying event happened on December 16, 2024. This date marked a significant escalation in the conflict, drawing international attention and condemnation. A hypersonic missile called Palestine II was launched from Houthi-controlled territory. This missile, capable of traveling at unprecedented speeds, posed a serious threat to regional security. The missile aimed at central Israel was stopped. The successful interception prevented a potential disaster, but it highlighted the increasing capabilities of the Houthi forces. But this bold attack shocked the region and the world. It demonstrated the Houthis' willingness to escalate the conflict to unprecedented levels. It showed the Houthis' growing military power and their willingness to attack Israel directly. This direct confrontation has raised alarms about the potential for a broader regional conflict. These attacks are not isolated events. They are part of a sustained and deliberate campaign to destabilize the region. They are part of a plan by the Houthis to disrupt international shipping and put pressure on Israel. This strategy aims to leverage their control over key maritime routes to gain political and military advantages. The Red Sea, once a place for trade and cooperation, is quickly becoming a center of tension and violence. The increasing hostilities threaten the safety and security of all nations relying on these waters for commerce. The Houthis' actions threaten to create more chaos and instability in the region. The humanitarian impact is already being felt, with many people forced to flee their homes due to the escalating violence. The world has been slow to react to this growing crisis. Despite the clear signs of escalation, international response has been limited and largely ineffective. Despite criticisms and calls for calm, real action has been limited. The lack of a coordinated and decisive response has emboldened the Houthis to continue their aggressive tactics. The Houthis, encouraged by this lack of strong action, continue to escalate their attacks. Their confidence grows with each successful operation, making the situation increasingly volatile. The situation needs a unified and strong response to stop more violence and prevent a larger conflict. Only through collective action can the international community hope to restore peace and stability to the Red Sea region. Israel, facing a direct threat to its safety and interests, has taken a strong stand. While trying to use diplomacy, Israel has made it clear that it will use its military to protect itself. Recent weeks have seen more Israeli military activity in the region, showing a firm response to Houthi aggression. Israeli airstrikes have targeted Houthi military bases and weapon storage areas in Yemen. These strikes, carefully planned to avoid hurting civilians, aim to weaken the Houthis' ability to launch more attacks. Israel has also increased its navy presence in the Red Sea, sending warships and submarines to protect its shipping routes and prevent future attacks. Besides these immediate military actions, Israel is getting ready for a possible large-scale military campaign against the Houthis. Military planners are creating strategies to stop the Houthi threat and protect Israel's interests in the Red Sea. These preparations show Israel's determination to do whatever it takes to defend itself. However, Israel knows that a military-only solution won't work. A complete approach, including diplomacy, international cooperation, and targeted military action, is needed for a lasting solution. Israel wants to get international support to pressure the Houthis and Iran to stop their hostile actions. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is working hard to get other countries to support Israel's position. He is tirelessly engaging in diplomatic efforts, reaching out to various nations to explain Israel's stance and the urgency of the situation. He has been talking to world leaders, explaining how serious the Houthi threat is, and asking for support for Israel's right to defend itself. Netanyahu emphasizes the immediate danger posed by the Houthis and the broader implications for regional stability. Netanyahu's message is clear: the world must take strong action to stop Houthi aggression and prevent a larger regional conflict. He stresses that inaction could lead to a more widespread and devastating conflict that would affect many countries. A key part of this diplomatic campaign is showing the Houthis' connection to Iran. Netanyahu has been presenting detailed evidence to illustrate the direct support the Houthis receive from Iran, including financial aid, military training, and advanced weaponry. Netanyahu has shown strong evidence of Iran's support for the Houthis, including giving them advanced weapons and military training. He has displayed captured weapons and other materials to substantiate his claims, aiming to convince the international community of the gravity of the situation. He argues that the Houthis' actions are not just a regional problem, but part of Iran's efforts to cause trouble in the Middle East. Netanyahu insists that Iran's influence extends beyond Yemen, affecting the entire region's stability and security. Israel has asked for an emergency meeting of the United Nations Security Council to talk about the crisis. Netanyahu is pushing for a global platform to address the issue, seeking a unified stance against the Houthi aggression. It wants a strong condemnation of Houthi attacks and international pressure on Iran to stop supporting the group. Israel is calling for concrete actions and resolutions that would hold Iran accountable for its role in the conflict. Israel believes that a united international response is very important to stop further Houthi aggression and create a path to peace. Netanyahu is advocating for a coalition of nations to work together to bring stability to the region. Also, Israel is working with its allies in the region to create a united front against the Houthi threat. This includes sharing intelligence, coordinating military efforts, and developing joint strategies to counter the Houthis. Shared worries about Iran's growing influence in the region provide a reason to work together. The common threat posed by Iran's actions has brought together countries that might not otherwise collaborate so closely. Israel's diplomatic efforts aim to build a regional security system that can effectively deal with the many challenges coming from Yemen. By strengthening alliances and fostering cooperation, Israel hopes to create a more secure and stable Middle East. During the fighting, words can be as powerful as weapons. Leaders on both sides understood this. They used speeches, announcements, and even letters to influence public opinion and encourage their people. Often these words were meant to weaken the enemy's determination, creating doubt and fear. It was a psychological battle, just as important as the physical one. This war of words played a big part in shaping what happened, influencing not only the soldiers fighting, but also the people back home. In many ways, words were more powerful than weapons. The conflict wasn't just a local problem. It affected the whole region. Neighboring countries got involved, each with their own interests and reasons for wanting a certain outcome. This wider regional struggle made a complicated situation even more difficult. As the conflict got worse, what the world thought became very important. Countries around the world watched carefully, forming their own opinions and choosing sides. Leaders worked hard to influence global opinions and gain support for their causes. In the end, something important happened that changed everything. It wasn't just about military power or strategy. Often, it was the strength and determination of the people involved that mattered most. Their unwavering spirit and commitment to their cause played a huge role in the final result. Finally, the desire for peace and stability became stronger. The conflict caused a lot of damage and everyone wanted a lasting solution. People worked to create a ceasefire and find a way forward, hoping that future generations could live in a more peaceful world.